Welcome to episode 4 of the Dolmen Insurance podcast. In this episode, Dolmen Insurance Associate Director and Hospitality Insurance Expert, Darren Lundy, sits down with Julie Shiels of Hartley's restaurant to talk about their recent insurance renewal quote. Darren and Julie discuss how the quote from her previous broker almost ended their business, and how Dolmen Insurance helped Hartley's halve their insurance costs. If you work or own a business that operates in the hospitality industry, do not miss this podcast, it's for you.
So welcome to episode 4 of the Dolmen podcast. I'm here today with Darren, who's Associate Director at Dolmen Insurance. Darren looks after all the hospitality, restaurants, bars. Darren, welcome.
Eric, good to have you here today. So we're on site here in Hartley's restaurant in Dunleary, overlooking Dunleary Harbour. Fantastic restaurant. And we're here with Julie today as well, the owner. As well, just give you a bit of a background on Dolmen Insurance. So Dolmen Insurance have been an insurance patron for the Restaurant Association of Ireland for the last 4 years. And I'm delighted to announce that we have recently been reappointed as patron for 2024. So we look forward to providing the members of the Restaurant Association with a solid alternative, which is both competitive and provides a wide range of cover. Dolmen Insurance itself, we're one of the largest Irish independent brokers. We're recently celebrated 25 years in business in October this year. Myself, I'm in the industry for over 25 years, specialising in providing insurance to the hospitality sector for the last 15 years. At Dolmen, we pride ourselves in providing a top-class customer service to all our clients. So as I say, today we're on site here with Julie in Hartley's restaurant in Dunleary. We recently provided Julie with a solid alternative for her insurance package. She came to us in a tricky situation, which if not resolved, could have made her business potentially unviable. But rather than me describe the situation, I might hand over to Julie for a quick summary. Julie, I suppose you contacted us there recently in relation to your own insurance renewal, and you're encountering a couple of problems. So maybe if you just want to tell us what your story and how you came to contact us.
Sure, Darren. Well, to give you some background, we had a very serious fire in July 2021. I suppose you could say the unthinkable happened. The thing that you don't expect to ever happen to you, but it did. Caused a significant amount of damage to the building. We ended up being closed for nearly 18, 19 months indoors while we put everything back together. We reopened fully indoors 18 months later in December 2022, and my insurance renewal doubled year on year. So from the 2022 to the 2023 premium, it reached a point where I knew when I got the quote for the renewal in October 2023 that the amount that they were looking for was basically unviable.
Okay.
So I understand that as a company director, if I hadn't been able to do anything about that, I would have been trading too close to the bone.
Yeah.
So it was nearly a door closing moment.
Right. Okay.
I had always gotten communications from the Restaurant Association about their partnership with Dolmen. I've attended some branch meetings over the years, and I never felt that I needed to change. But in this moment, I was in as close to crisis as you could be.
Right. Okay.
So I went online and I got the contact details for Dolmen from the Restaurant Association website and contacted you. That evening, and the rest, as they say, is history. I'll never be anything other than extremely grateful for not just how the problem was sorted, but the speed with which it was sorted. Because I was under pressure. I didn't get given an awful lot of notice about this massive increase to my premium, and I needed to be insured. And thankfully, you stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, no. It's a good news story for the sector, and I can remember myself when the email came in. I think it was Halloween night, if I remember right. I think it was around that kind of time period, and kind of reading through the email that he had sent across, I could see there was definitely a major problem here, and I think, look, ourselves here in Dolmen Insurance, we do like, you know, a challenge as well. And if somebody is feeling a bit of pain there in terms of the insurance, we do, you know, try to provide a solid solution on it. So I think we come out on site probably within 48 hours, spend a couple of hours here going through, I suppose, look, the history of the restaurant itself, the history of your insurance, previous claims, and I suppose take for a few photographs of the risk as well on site, I suppose with the purpose of presenting it to a potential new underwriter. So we got the best possible proposition into a new underwriter, because I suppose as time went on, when we sat here on site in the premises, in my opinion, I would say the property been one of the best properties in Dublin to insure for a new underwriter in terms of the renovation work that took place over the last, nearly 18 months. Yeah,
that's kind of what I felt. I obviously, when you have a catastrophic thing happen to your business, like a fire, like the fire that we had, possibly the only bright side of it is that 2 years later, everything is new.
Yeah.
And in fairness to my insurers at the time, the cover was in place and we're reopened.
Yeah.
But I was advised by you weren't the only person that I contacted at that time. Obviously, I was in a serious pickle, and I needed to get as much information as I possibly could. And I was advised by quite a few people that I wasn't going to get a better quote, that I was going to struggle to even get an alternative quote at all.
Yeah. Okay.
And yet, within I think 14 or 15 days, we had cover in place for half what I had been quoted. And that means that my business, I can continue. I wouldn't have been able to if you hadn't stepped in to that extent. So I think obviously you know what you're doing when it comes to hospitality, and you're the way it happened so quickly was the most impressive part for me. It really did. I had to agree to renew at the higher rate because I was given very little notice and I couldn't operate uninsured. But we were able to get new cover in place quickly enough that didn't impact me financially. No.
Look, it's a good news story. I think,
absolutely.
You know, and certainly overall for the sector, you know, the big headline at the moment would be soaring costs of doing business in Ireland. So I suppose certainly a message that, look, I'd like to get across to the members of the Restaurant Association is don't let insurance be a barrier to doing business in Ireland. And I think we've demonstrated, you know, today, look, what we can offer to the members of the Restaurant Association. So appreciate your time here today, Julie.
Not at all.
Perfect, Darren. So that's a good news story, right? From an insurance point of view. What was your thoughts when you got the email and you noticed, say, for example, the premium, which is probably the first thing that most people look at. Did you feel that you were going to be able to do something?
Yeah, well, certainly, look, reading through the email that Julie sent across to ourselves, you know, obviously in the level of premium increases over the last couple of years, and obviously, look, there was a fire in the mix as well, but certainly I was confident that I think once I got out here on site and gathered all the information and had a look at obviously the renovations that have happened since the incident.
Yeah, the place is stunning.
Absolutely. So, and looking around, everything's finished such a high spec that, as I say, the more time I spent here on site, I was even more confident that to present this risk to a new underwriter, that it should be really something that they would strive to take on. So I suppose, look, it was presented to a number of underwriters, and look, in the end, we did secure that solid alternative.
Unbelievable, yeah. No, it's such a good story, especially for businesses in this sector, which it is probably has been more challenging in the past couple of years. You know,
absolutely.
What's the first step? Say for example, I'm a restaurant owner. I have an insurance broker that I currently have. What's the first step? What would your advice be for someone like that in that position who's just received a renewal and they're a little bit kind of surprised, you know?
And they don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose, obviously, look, ourselves, we partner with the Restaurant Association of Ireland. So obviously, look, our key piece is look after the members in there. So obviously, first point of call would be to contact ourselves, and our details will be on the website after the podcast today. So you can visit dolmeninsurance.ie. Within that, we have a specific brand set up for the Restaurant Association, restaurantinsurance.ie. So you can click on that website and get in contact with us directly via email, text, phone. Our details are also on the Restaurant Association of Ireland's own website. And you'll be able to contact a member of the team there also for my direct dial number.
Perfect.
So there's a number of ways to contact us.
And with the Restaurant Association of Ireland, Adrian Cummins is the CEO.
Correct. Yes.
And he's obviously. What have you spoken to him about this particular?
Yeah.
Case?
I suppose the Restaurant Association had their AGM this week in Carton House. So the brief conversation with Adrian, just given the success that we had here, and obviously he's very, very pleased with the outcome, because obviously one of the big things on their agenda at the moment is the soaring costs of business here in Ireland. So certainly, I suppose, the key message again would be to get across to the members is that insurance is something that Dolmen can definitely assist with. And partnering with the Restaurant Association of Ireland, we are a trusted broker. So please do get in contact.
And obviously then you're looking at it, like I keep going back to previously in this podcast where Julie spoke about the premium. To cut a premium in half is absolutely astronomical savings. I like if you got your car insurance and someone was able to cut it in half, you'd be over the moon. But to do it for your business is absolutely exceptional. Yeah. It's such a credit to. I feel like we're blowing our own trumpet here, but it is such a credit to Dolmen and how quick and how fast they get the cover in place. Yeah,
and I suppose, look, in this particular case, it was once the information was there and we'd gathered all the information, it was a case of saying, okay, we're going to prioritise here, because we could see a member that needed assistance. I was certainly confident we could provide this alternative. So obviously there was a lot of negotiating with underwriters, but I was confident that we had put forward a superb presentation of the risk, and that's obviously reflective in what Julie has done here on site for the last 18 months, that the building is in such good condition now. So somebody should not be suffering after a massive, obviously investment has gone in to bring the building up to such a high spec, that they should be getting a return for their insurance costs.
So Darren, thanks a million for jumping in here on episode 4. There's a couple of people still working around here in Hartley, so it's all go. But thanks a million for joining us, and I'll let you get back to helping people in restaurants and hospitality sector make sure they're properly covered and protected. We might get you to jump back in a couple of months. There's some interesting things coming up for the Restaurant Association of Ireland.
Yes, I suppose, they have a number of events next year. The Restaurant Association will have their award ceremonies kicking off probably, I think, March maybe next year for the regionals, and then the All-Ireland then in May next year. So there'll be some of the key events that obviously we will be representing Dolmen Insurance at. So I suppose you have to sign off. Members can talk to you there about if there's anything. Absolutely. Or they're looking to seek or to get an alternative quote or anything like that. Yeah. Perfect opportunity to catch up. Yeah, and I suppose, look, the key thing, Eric, that sign off with is, look, I'd repeat again that, look, don't let insurance be a barrier to doing business in Ireland. And the key thing is really contact Dolmen Insurance well in advance of your renewal. Ideally, you want to be contacting us probably in the region of 6 months in advance. And that gives you the opportunity to prepare the case and present it to an underwriter. Absolutely. And yeah. That's super, Darren. Thanks a million. All the details for Darren, for Dolmen Insurance, restaurantinsurance.ie will all be in the link below. To finish off, this was one of those podcasts where I really got to see the fruition of great customer service, product expertise, and a real drive to help get the best cover and protection for clients. I'm always extremely impressed with the level of expertise and professionalism of Dolmen staff, whether it be, say, construction insurance, commercial insurance, general insurance, motor insurance, life insurance, whatever it is, the staff always have a real level of expertise. However, when you sit down with a person who is directly affected by the rising cost of doing business in Ireland, and you see the benefits of Dolmen's work for customers, the savings they made for this particular client, being one of the big reasons why that client is able to continue trading, it's certainly inspiring and refreshing, especially in an industry that receives its fair share of criticism. With that, I felt compelled to reach out to Adrian Cummins, who's the president of the Restaurant Association of Ireland, and ask him about the partnership they have with Dolmen and the benefits of that relationship.
The Restaurant Association of Ireland finds the partnership with Dolmen Insurance extremely beneficial for our members, especially in our coffee shop, restaurant and gastropub members across the state. They're very efficient, very professional, and we have a very good working relationship in terms of getting the best insurance price for hospitality businesses in Ireland.
I then asked Adrian, did he see a real value in having a partnership with a company like Dolmen for the Restaurant Association and their members?
We see a partnership with Dolmen Insurance as being hugely beneficial to our association. It's important that we provide a good value to our members in terms of reductions in costs. And that's why we've partnered with Dolmen Insurance to target the insurance market to make sure that we get the best price available for our members for all their insurance policies.
With the soaring cost of doing business in Ireland very well documented at the moment, I wanted to ask Adrian what his thoughts were on the recent success Dolmen had with Hartley's restaurant in Dunleary.
When I saw the information with regard to the massive reduction in insurance for Hartley's restaurant in Dunleary of nearly a 50% reduction in their insurance costs, I was extremely thankful to Dolmen Insurance for being so successful in terms of the reduction in insurance rates for a member of the association. And it just shows that there is reductions out there for members of the association in terms of their insurance if they work with our partner in Dolmen Insurance.
The last thing I wanted to ask Adrian was what his advice would be to his members when it comes to insuring their business, having seen the success that Darren and the staff at Dolmen had with Hartley's and how they turned something that was very concerning and challenging into something that had a real positive ending.
The advice I give to members of the Restaurant Association of Ireland when it comes to their renewal is that they should seek a meeting with Dolmen Insurance about 4 to 5 months in advance of the renewal date so that we can get the best price and we can shop around to get the best value for our members in terms of insurance costs so that we can pass that on to the bottom line of each and every business.
That was episode 4 of the Dolmen podcast, a real positive ending. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out our other episodes. Life and Pensions with Nick Buckley, Mortgage Protection and Life Insurance with Anya Deerham, and Construction Insurance with Kevin Fox. For all your insurance needs, be sure to check out dolmen-insurance.ie.